everyone. We're going to start with the interview with Michelle Ngonmo. First, we would like to thank you, Michelle, for giving us this interview about the extraordinary accomplishment to open such an event as the Milano Fashion Week. So Michelle Ngonmo, she is the CEO of Afro Fashion Association, whose main objective is through fashion, art, and culture to foster cross-cultural exchange, empowerment, and sustainable economic development. The non-profit organization was founded in 2015, which promotes various fashion events such as the Afro Fashion Week Milan, Afro Walk Milan, and the Fierce Afric with African designers. Many other workshops in partnership with fashion and art universities like the AFW Talents and social events.
Thank you so much, Beatriz, for having me.
Thank you. Gisa, would you like to start with the questions?
Thank you, Michelle. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself, trying to connect it with when and how the idea of Afro Fashion Initiative came about, please?
Oh, thank you, Gisa, also for having me. First of all, it's my pleasure to be here with you guys. Let's say that when I was younger, I was living, and I'm still living, in a society where, let's say, the media is not reflecting the real society. We are here in Italy, and most of the time you will see about people being defined, talking about the women like prostitute or women who are cleaning homes and all those stuff, and you will not see a real representation in the society. So while I was at the university, I was the president of the African students of my town. So I had the chance to meet too many students from African origins that were studying, finishing their studies, but didn't find, let's say, a job in the sector that they were studying. So I called one day my best friend and I told her, listen, we have so many potential that the society needs to see, because here in Italy, 80% of the population thinks that the diversity is the danger, and they don't think that the diversity could be really, come si dice, ricchezza, that brings something more on the table. So we decided to create this platform to give the opportunity also to those kind of profile to show a little bit their creativity to the society.
That's great. Thank you very much. So, Michelle, with the globalized world that we live nowadays, and social media is taking a great position into the creation of influence, why, for you, is it fundamental to have direct representation of African designers in the fashion scenario in Italy?
I think it's critical, not fashion scene, but in the society in general. Representation helps combat prejudice and inequality. In Italy, there are more than 1 million people, so more and more cultural, and this has to be reflected in every sector. Afro fashion needs a recognition for the global industry. But in another point of view, I'd say African fashion has begun to become recognized within the industry, not only as a trend, as was the case in the past, but as a culture of fashion, the way European, American, Asian fashion has been. Our role here in Italy has been largely around advocacy and visibility, making sure that Afro fashion remains part of the public conversation. Business opportunities for designers, but also educational opportunities and cultural, let's say, events. I'm excited and looking forward, let's say that my work as a part of the WAMI, which is the group We Are Made in Italy, embedded the Camera della Moda, can continue to contribute meaningfully lasting change in the Italian fashion industry, especially because I have seen and have been involved with all the aspects of the fashion process. Solution for a more equitable future of fashion required change in not just the public showcases, but all the part of the fashion systems.
Going a bit further in our discussion, so for many of us, fashion goes beyond than just choosing a pretty and comfortable clothes. Fashion, it can be also a way of expressing ourselves to tell the others about your roots and beliefs. So it portrays not just a trend, but it speaks to our reality as well. Talking about now the fashion show, what do the Fab Five designers are going to tell to Milano Fashion Week? What they have spoken about?
Let's say that the Fab Five bridge builders are five designers who tell the multiculturalism of fashion through their collection. Fashion is a very powerful tool, as we just talked about. For the first time in the history of fashion in Italy, these five epochs have been included in the official fashion calendar like any other top designers. I think it's a first step. The idea of connecting our project to Made in Italy is to make it clear that Made in Italy cannot be just a matter of skin color, but it is a savoir-faire of know-how and talent. An Italian designer of Afro origin is still an Italian designer, and frankly, our industry is able to say that. It's to the industry's detriment when it fails to, especially in an increasingly multicultural country and world.
Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, the Milano Fashion Show was held online. What were the main challenges that our designers faced in transmitting their show in this way? If they have faced any challenges in this end?
Let's say that now that we are about a year into dealing with the pandemic, we have learned to live and work with it, I think. The broadcast of their fashion show wasn't a big problem, thanks to the support of Camera della Moda, which financed the entire production of the show. Otherwise, the cost and needs of creating a high level of video would have been an enormous challenge, since it was already not easy to navigate how to safely gather the people required. Probably the most difficult part has been doing the buyers event virtually. It is difficult to replicate the experience and quality of fashion through just, the screen when it depends so much on the materials, on the materiality.
Don't worry. Just I would like to add another question to this. Do you think that actually this way of transmitting, of broadcasting the runaway was in a certain way more democratic than other years when the whole event of those fashion shows, they always give to us this impression that it's something exclusive and something close to a certain group of people, while now with the possibility of broadcasting this online, we could have shown the history to more people.
Yeah, I think absolutely it was a democratic way of showing, fashion, like I told before, is something really exclusive. It's not open to the society or the people. People usually leave the fashion show through media like a journal, Vogue, and on YouTube, for example. They are not living the real experience of the fashion show. Now with the pandemic, and thanks to the pandemic, let's say that, people from their room, from the work, everywhere, they had the possibility or the chance to live this experience. But you can say that it can be pleasant or some people, but yeah, it was a way to say, this is the world of fashion. This is what is happening really when you are not there. So yeah, it is. I think it was something great. It was something positive. I'd say that.
Thank you.
So Michelle, from a major fact, we actually know that fashion in Italy, has been the fashion industry in Italy has been tremendously dominating in the Western fashion industry. I mean, the European fashion industry and global as well. With its city, Milan, which is even highly considered to be one, if not the world's fashion capital. So what does it mean to you having the Afro fashion collection represented on the global fashion stage? I mean, in the Milan fashion stage. How do you feel and what does it mean to you?
I feel this is really, really pleasant to feel on this 2015, and no one was staring at us. We were okay, in the corner, and there were the fashion system. So I think it is the first step, and it is also something fair, because in Milan you have more than 280 Afro fashion designer present. It was something great because it gave hope to the others that they can also be recognized and they can also be part of the fashion system because they belong to the society, and I think it's really, really fair to be present in the calendar. I don't want people to look at them just because they are Black designers present there. I want people to look at them because they are designers, they are talented, beyond
And in the following years, we've seen a great development in sustainable fashion, not just the fashion designers, but mostly the consumers now. They are understanding the importance of sustainable fashion clothes, and they are asking for it. They are really searching for it. Could you talk about how the website introduced this aspect, in the capsule collection?
Let's say that 5 designers who are extremely concerned about the environment and incorporating sustainability into their works. When you have, let's say, African origin and have lived in Africa, you likely benefit from a different relationship with nature compared to many city dwellers. You have Mokodu upcycles second-hand clothes in a second life. He buys second-hand and do his drawing on that, do the art, and give another life to those second-hand clothes. You have also Claudia, which I call the queen of sustainable craftsmanship. She used 100% eco-sustainable and natural materials, from the hemp to dyes, although using them in innovative way as new kinds of textile. Then you have also Frida that use certified cottons in their creation. So much so that Frida, for example, has her collection, Thinking Green, as a way to say, let's think about the nature.
The capsule collection presented also full integration with the Made in Italy standards, with general roots from the lens to the final product. Could you tell more about this integration, what it meant for the collection?
Usually people see Black designer or African designers, they think that automatically they are from Africa. Let me tell you an example. For example, you have Claudia. Do you know where she got her inspiration? From Asia, not from Africa. For example, Mokodu, who is 100% inspired from Africa, because he draws animals, He's using his collection is inspired from the color, the forest, and all the stuff. You will also have Joy, who have a collection which is a mix of African and European or Italian. You know, she will use the things that she called applique. Okay, and with the applique, she will create something using silks, using luxury materials from Italy.
Yeah,
for
it was
example.
beautiful.
You will have Frida, who was really inspired with the Botticelli, but she looked at it with an African's eyes, and she reinterpreted that to something new. So her collection is the eyes of an African descendant.
You are becoming an inspiration to many young girls and many generation coming. So your journey is so inspiring, and like from where you come from and where you are now, there is an inspiring journey that you have been through. So what message would you give to the young fashionista and the upcoming stylists? What advice would you leave behind to them?
Let's say that I say to the young, I can say to the young generation out there that working hard is the key. So they have to work hard and don't let anyone or any frustration or the society define who they are. They are worthy, and that I want to be clear. It doesn't mean that they are going to be all successful, because we are not all Picasso, but they need to believe in themselves first. They are the first to believe too. They have to believe in themselves. And a no is not always a bad thing. I think for me, a no is a really good thing, because it pushes you to work harder and to push the limit, you know, because when you have a no, it's like, okay, it's not because maybe I wasn't brave enough. And you go back home and you try and you work harder and harder to hope that the next time you will have a yes. Because if you have a no and you're like, okay, it's a no, it's not for me, you won't do anything. You just pushing and try harder and harder and harder. I can't tell you guys how many no I have received in my life. And I just started to be recognized like 2 years ago. But it's something like I began 10 years ago. And I didn't stop. And I'm not going to stop.